one word that describes your leadership style.
You should be collaborative.
A leader which you admire the most.
The leader who I admire the most is Dr. Ramlinga Swami.
So, any strength, one big strength and one weakness, sir.
The biggest strength in me is my resilience. Biggest weakness in me is not able to say no. That Dr. Ganguly, it was very good that you were not born as a girl. I said, why, sir? So he said that you would have been constantly pregnant because you are not able to say no. So there's a weakness. I don't know if the weakness or this good. This weakness I carry till date.
Sir, one value you would like to teach young leaders?
Humility.
Humility. Yeah. Dear listeners, welcome to the Voice of Change, a global leadership series where we bring you insights and experiences from global health leaders across the globe who are shaping the future of public health. I will be your host, Dr. Sonu Goyal, working as professor in Department of Community Medicine and School of Public Health and director of International Public Health Management Development Program being hosted by HITECH, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. And we will be diving into various leadership principles being adopted by a renowned leader of not only the country, but of the globe. So our guest today will be Dr. Professor Nirmal Kumar Ganguly, a recipient of the highest honor of this country, Padma Bhushan, and is India's most distinguished biomedical scientist and a visionary leader in public health. He served as Director General of Indian Council of Medical Research, another topmost research organization, and held various positions in various eminent institutes, including PGI Chandigarh, JIPMER, and National Academy of Medical Sciences. He has over 4 decades of experience in infectious diseases, immunology, biotechnology, and also public health. Chairman of various more than 100 national and international scientific committees, including World Health Organization, DBT, CSIR, and many more. He is currently the senior professor at ILBS and he has also started that institute, and he has more than 800 scientific publications to his name. So welcome, sir, to this series, Voices of Change.
Thank you, Dr. Goel. Thank you to be with you. It's a fortunate to be with you.
Thank you very much, sir. And I will start with my first question about your. According to you, what defines a successful leader, and what are the qualities which leadership a successful leader should have?
Actually, a successful leader should be a person who are believed by people, his colleagues, and the other people around the globe who interact with him. And they should trust the person and listen to whatever the person says. And normally such persons are followed. But these persons should have a vision and should have a dream. If they can't dream and if they don't have a vision, they don't know where to lead people. They should also have integrity, because integrity, if you don't have, then some or other you lose your way somewhere. And the person should be able to give. Leadership is never given to anyone. You may be given a title, you may be the head of the organization, but you may not be a leader. Leadership is always acquired. It is never given. And a leader actually doesn't ask anything for himself. A leader always gives. It gives to all the people who depend on him, and globally he is followed by his work and his deeds. So the person should be a giver, not a taker. if you start taking, and if you think that you will get something out of that, it doesn't happen. Finally, the leader should have an adaptability. The environment go on changing. The time I joined PGI in 1965 and the time now in PGI is totally different. It is not the same. And there are a huge amount of challenges which come up at the different periods of time. So if the leader is not able to adopt, then they perish. They normally don't survive. So these are some of the qualities which leaders should have, and I gave you the definition of a leader also.
It's wonderful. I think you have enumerated a lot of traits of a successful leader, including a vision, integrity, people centered, adaptability, and a sense of giving rather than taking, and leading by examples. So, sir, during your 5 decades of journey as initially as a faculty and then as a directors of various institutes, chairman of various institutes. So, how can you cite some examples where you have demonstrated? You might have multiple examples where you have demonstrated leadership. So, can you cite for our audience some examples?
Yeah, like when you face a challenge, you should be able to make a decision. The the challenges which I faced while I was in PGI, that will be a good example. And then as I moved up the ladder, the challenges which I faced in PGI was this, that the department which I joined first had uh, uh, at that time there was no Dhar committee. In my lifetime in PGI, I didn't find any Dhar committee. We had to compete for every position. So there was a faculty there. He's no more. His name is Dr. R.C. Mahajan. His name was Dr. R.C. Mahajan. We were very close friends, and until he was there, I would not have ever been promoted. So I had to change about 3 times my department, 3 to 4 times my department within PGI. At that time, you could do it. Now you can't do it because of the Dhar
Yeah.
committee. And you had to leave everything behind. Everything, you couldn't take anything with you. So here, you really uh, had to make everything new, start your life totally new. But ultimately, that actually sharpens your instinct, because then you can you can make something out of nothing, and always you go on gaining. So this was a big challenge during my career as I was moving forward. Then I became twice the director of PGI. So the challenge was this, that how to handle this appropriately, so that and when you become a director like this, that means the organization is in some kind of a difficulty, because because I had to come from outside and become the, by that time I had already left PGI. So at that time, the major challenge was that how you could be fairly doing it as a part-time job, and no job in the life is a part-time job. So there, then I handled it by creating a consortium of the senior faculties, about 10 of the senior most faculties, and created a consortium as if they were the board, and essentially tried to navigate my time over there by taking their advice. So when you face a challenge, although the final decision is yours, but it is good to that you are able to take appropriate advice from your colleagues and peers. And I will give the credit to the PJ faculty of that time. They were very senior people, but they gave their advice. But when I took a decision, they took the decision and worked as a team. So that was the second challenge which I got. The other challenge was, as I moved up in the ladder, The challenge was this, that I got selected 4 times as a director when I was in PGI. It was in the NICE at Calcutta, it was in ITRC Lucknow. In this way, there were about 4 times I became a director, and 2 times I became a professor when I was not a professor in PGI. So the challenge was this, that shall I remain here or shall I move? So, but that time I had to take a very big decision in my life, that that what really uh, motivates me, what makes me happy. And all the life I have been a researcher, and I was doing good research, and I was very happy when I was there, and I didn't move. As my movement as an ICMR DG was a very, very different thing. One of the two examples why I had moved, the challenges. While I had moved, I was called by a Secretary of Health at that time, and at that time it was not a DHR, which I made when during my time. And he said that this is an institute known as National Institute of Biological. You close it down. It's a white elephant. It started with a 16 crore budget, but now it is costing about 350 crores. So I can't take it forward. So I wrote there that this is needed. This has to be world class. And ultimately, uh, he didn't like it, so he sent to 3 more people, and they wrote the same thing. So he called me and told me that now you have got me into this muddle. Now you become a director. At that time, I didn't know that I am a director general. I could not say accept that and say that I will take up as a director, but I accepted. So when I accepted, I saw that everybody has gone out of there. The Japanese government, which was to provide the money, has got out of there. The NIH and USFDA, who was to provide the training, did go out. NIH, who had created the design, they got out of that. And the contractor who had this, he was holding the money and was not wanting to quit out of that. So somehow or other, whenever you get a challenge and if you put your heart and soul behind it, and I could solve it, and today that particular organization is standing. This was one of the most expensive laboratories ever built into our system, and it got built. While I was DG ICMR, the main challenge was that we had we all our buildings were in a rented accommodation. And when I went and sat in my seat, there were people who were beating their breast, and there were jalous in the corridors, and there was high highs, and people came and lay down. This was the first day, lay down on my room, demanding impossible things. And then when I sat on the sofa, the leg of the sofa broke and I fell down on the. So I asked that what was the budget of ICMR. So we had 29 institutes and we have a budget of 27 crores. And out of that, we had not spent even 1 crore we have not spent. So with this kind of a thing, with this kind of a challenge, then I had to move forward. But I went into the trick, and the main thing is that if you perform and if you provide results, you could ask for money. So by the time I was moving out, my budget was now of 5,000 crore, 1,000 crore per year by the time I moved out of the ICMR. And it happened, and we could also make it a director. We made a department of health research. That was also because Dr. Ramlingaswamy, who was much worthier than me, had failed, but it happened. That is, so you have to be like King Bruce. You are beaten down, but you get up and try again. There is one very interesting story in the PGI that happened. Like I started my life as an immunologist. So I had to move on that. And so Dr. Eckert, who was very powerful at that time, he was also an immunologist. So he was in the pathology department. And one of my colleagues, Dr. Shobha Saigal, was an immunologist. So they formed the immunopathology department. So I couldn't get that. So I didn't leave hope. I was not trained as a biotechnologist, but then I started moving my department towards the biotechnology. And then I wanted to make it a name our department as a department of biotechnology. So when you make a department in biotechnology, everyone does biotechnology. There is no one who doesn't do it. Even the even the Department Institute of Public Health does biotechnology. So
Yes.
so there was a lot of opposition from all the time, and 7 times our proposal was shot down. But every time I got up and put up, and then they put up a committee in which Dr. Indira Nath and Dr. Ramlinga Swamy were the members. So they said that Dr. Ganguly, will you be able to help others? I said, Dr. Ramlinga Swamy, I have helped you. You when you were investigating plague, you recruited me with you, and I was moving around the whole India with you every day. And there was a paper in Nature in which I have a name. And you remember my mother died while I was with you, and I should have been with her when in her deathbed, but I was with you, and I had to move her. And I said, Indira, I have a paper with you also, because you were we were finding out together what are the normative values of the different immunologic phenotypes, T cell, B cell, etc. So then it was a very strong argument, and they saw that. And I told that, well, there are a lot of people sitting here. Let anyone say that I have not helped them, so nobody can say that I haven't helped them, and then we could get through this. So what I want to say, that challenges, and the same and you face challenges with the bureaucracy, which never changes. That it is like a dog's tail. You make it straight, it again curls up. So
Yeah.
you need to find out that how do you handle bureaucracy without annoying them. If somebody gets annoyed, they will not do your work. So
Yeah.
so these are the challenges which I faced while I was growing up.
Right, sir. So I think wonderful. I think you might be having a long list of challenges in 5 decades because you had been in different positions in different institute, not one institute, multiple institutes you have been. So, sir, two common challenges which people face as a position of a director actually is looking for the voices of the lower staff, lower faculty. Like, for example, you were director and you had a consortium of senior faculty. How you ensure that the lower faculty are being heard of, and also in your ICMR, when you are in stint in ICMR and in different institute, this is number one challenge. The second challenges are, you have told that you had lack of resources, and this is a common problem for us. So how as a leader you manage that particular resources and you were able to lift the resources from 27 crores or 28 crores to 5,000 crores in ICMR? What was that thing which you did? So two things, sir.
So when I have handled organizations with staff of 5,000, staff of 10,000, sometimes staff of 15,000 also.
Yeah.
So the main thing which happens that you need to solve the problem. Whenever somebody shouts, when somebody agitates, they have a problem. Otherwise, they will not do that. And you should create a system in which this can be handled. So and you need to also know that create a system, administrative systems in your place, where there are different uh, people handling different categories of staff. Like there was a director during my time in All India Institute. there was a Safai Karmachari. He slapped him. Okay. So so I learned when I was in ICMR that you create a ladder system in which there is there is a serial interaction. So you are directly not interacting with, and you know that you cannot really throw out a Safai Karmachari. Whatever you do, you cannot throw that person out of the job, even if the person slaps you. The same thing happened. One aspiring Director General of Health Services was slapped by a nurse in the Safdarjung hospital. So, so always when you deal with some people who will come from all categories, and they're all important people, they're all contributing, and so you always try to solve their problem, and they need to be heard. And you, even if the demands may be absurd, or sometimes the way some of the people talk could be very, very different. So you need to really create a system in which they are heard, and bring out that their behavior is civil, and put in people who they trust and with whom they can interact. And that is how, so I solved a huge amount of problem everywhere. When I was president of JIPMA, they didn't want to become autonomous. They wanted to remain government servant. Some or other I convinced, and I brought them as a government servant. Then I wanted to make a school of public health in JIPMA, and there was a head of department there who didn't want anything to change. He was a tremendous autocrat. Some or other, I handled that also, and it became a Institute of Public Health ultimately. The same way, I will give you one more example, in ICMR, every institute has a different cadres, and different salary structure. So it was a really mess, and and I tried to solve that, and it happened, and it ultimately was accepted. And sometimes people may put up investigation on you, like the technicians were not getting promoted, so I created a system, took it through every place, and created a promotion system for them. But then somebody found out a flaw in the administration, that this particular system was not a good system. And what they did, that there was an investigation. I got out of that investigation with the flying colors, because morally it was good. So if you really ask me, when I became ICMR DG, I had no administrative experience. I was a professor there. And it is a very advantageous if you have no administrative experience, which I have seen in my life. Later on, I had bucket full of that. But when I joined, I was totally raw. So, so I found out there were two things which were happening. Firstly, that you need to listen to whosoever comes to you. So previously, my predecessor, the directors were coming to meet the person, and they were sitting for 4 or 5 days, and they were not able to meet. And it was a really very messy situation. So what I did, that anybody could just open the door and come to me. It was very stressful. And second thing, that I picked up the phone anytime. It was it was never told that Saab bathroom mein hai, will ring you back, and Saab never rings you back. This never happened. So
Mm,
so
right,
if if I was really talking to someone, I requested them to sit, and after I had finished with that, I talked to them.
right,
And secondly, I had no secret. My mother has taught me that never talk something which is secret, so that people, that cannot be told in public. So I had no secret in my life. Everything could be heard by anyone. So
right.
this is how you do. One last thing I want to say, that PGI had taught us one thing, that in our time when I was in the time of Dr. Santokh Singh Anand and Dr. Chutani, the our institute used to open at 8 in the morning. Going back, there was no time. You can go back at 8 at the night or 10 at the night, but you had to be there at 8. So it taught me a discipline. Now nobody takes my attendance, but I reach my office at 8. I am the
Right.
first to reach my office wherever I go. And it goes on. And this is how I normally handle with this. Like in ICMR, some people some people came at 10, some people at 10:30, some people at 11. So what I used to do that at 9 o'clock exactly, I used to take a meeting of the all the officers to really know what they want. So I used to tell them that what I am going to implement and what I want, and used to take their opinion.
Right.
And
Right.
so everyone had to come on the time. So you have to lead with example. You yourself may come late, or you may not observe rules, and you will like others to follow the rules. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is how I moved.
No, wonderful, sir. I think you have told a lot of things, how the lower people voices are heard. I think you have implemented the open door policy where anybody can come over and tell you about the problem. But at the same point in time, you created systems in which there is a ladder system where people had a system of meetings in the departments, and then the final thing come to you. So I think that trust and openness was also there in you, so that whatever things people believe in you, because when you're open, when you're transparent, people believes in you. And I think discipline is one of the most important thing which a leader should have. So I think these are the thing where your mechanisms by which the voices of the lower people are heard and they believe in you. So sir, one thing I just want to ask, because conflict, you told many examples of the conflict as well, and it is a part and parcel of the leadership position, solving conflicts. So, how you try to, can you give some other example that how you take tough decisions at some point of time, but at the same point of time, people are not very angry with your tough decisions later on. So, I think any examples of it, sir?
So like one of the things which happens when you take decision, you do not make everyone happy. There's some person who is always unhappy, and mm, and in my life I have found that the persons whom I used to scold every day, the students and persons, and there were persons whom I used to pamper. Those persons I used to scold every day, they became very affectionate to me in their later life, because
Yeah,
they found out that like a parent, I might have guided them appropriately. And those who are pampered, they had expectations, and their expectations were not met. They became very angry for that purpose.
right,
But
right.
but but when you are taking such decisions and facing such conflicts, what you really do is that be fair and be transparent, and do justice. It is sometimes, when there are different kinds of people in the department. Some people are more outgoing. They will come to you. They will smile. They will laugh. They will bring a flower to you. Some people I saw. Some person was telling to Dr. Akat when he was going to, sir, I was dreaming about you yesterday night. So there is psychophancy also. But when you deal with them, you don't put down anyone.
Yeah,
When so there is sometimes a misconception happen that this person likes this person more, or this person likes this person less.
right.
It is not like that. But when your
Mm.
final decision which you take, this final decision should be fair, so
Yeah,
that
yeah,
and very transparent. There should not be any deceit, or there should not be anything. Like my mother used to be very upset if you told lies. So I never tell a lie in my entire life now. At one
Yeah.
time, I told some lies, but after that, I never, because once I told a lie, she gave me a big slap in front of everyone. So it
Right.
was a big lesson I got. So if you are not lying, if you are a fair, if you are transparent, then you take a decision. It normally, grudgingly, even if accepted, grudgingly accepted, but it is accepted. But
Right.
if you don't do that, then you are not respected ultimately. So
Correct.
losing respect is one of the biggest malady which happens. But as I told you, you never really make anybody happy. But
Right.
one of the things in my life, wherever I was, whether I was in PGI or wherever I was, I normally gave freedom to the everyone. If there was a lecture in my department, the person was totally free to pursue their academic activities, their science, their activities, their whatever they wanted to do. Whether they wanted to put my name in the paper or they didn't want to put my name, they wanted to put my name in the project or they'd want to. This I had followed everywhere in my department, in ICMR, afterwards I created 5, 6 institutes everywhere. I had
Right.
followed the same thing. But there is a flip side on that, that sometimes normally, and since nobody is prevented from doing what they want, there should be a healthy competition between each other. And I
Yeah.
always encourage that choose a specialty. Like in your Institute of Public Health, every one of you have chosen a different specialty, and you are pursuing that specialty, because you can say that how the public health could have specialty, but your department has shown that there could be 10 different specialty and then 10 different pathways.
Right.
So it sometimes it doesn't happen. And particularly when you are young, you think that why this person is doing this and why while I am doing this, the same thing is being done. People forget that in today's specialization, you have to be a specialist. You cannot do 10 different things. Secondly, every you cannot stop the world. Somebody in the world is working on that particular thing, and
Right.
you have a particular time. So whatever you are doing, you should be the best in that and pursue that rather than thinking about those.
Right.
So sometimes I have seen that there is some unhealthy competition which comes up in the
Correct,
staff,
sir.
and that is one of the challenges, big
Correct.
challenges which I have faced in my life. But I have tried to resolve that by never stopping them, always mentoring them, always encouraging them to reach a goal,
Right.
and always helping each one of them.
So,
But
sir, yeah.
yes, please.
I think taking the cue from your talk, I think I have one question which is just roaming in my mind, that the tough decisions which you have taken, I think whenever you have taken those tough decisions, sometimes people life is changed after some point of time. And then they realize that these tough decisions which have been taken by Dr. Ganguly at that point of time actually has helped me in the life. So that is what you were telling, and maybe people come over later on that yes, sir, you have done this, and you have. And if people realize that these decisions which have been taken were not by heart, and the person is not disliked or liked by the heart, but it is just a matter of conscience, and it is being taken equally by to all of the people, fairly to all of people. So then the people doesn't feel bad over a period of time, right?
Like you know, like I if you really take it, like I will give you one example. I became the director of National Institute of Cholera and Tick Disease, and I was chosen. There were more worthier people than me, because I used to work on diarrheal disease and also rheumatic heart disease. But diarrheal disease was one of the major area I used to work. So Dr. Bhan was there, Dr. Suhas Sanyal was all were better than me. And they then were not taken. I was taken there. So when I was to join, my mother developed lung cancer, and I couldn't have taken her and got her treated in Calcutta. So I declined by that I cannot join. Everyone was disappointed. And I was called to the Director General ICMR's office. And he said that you have done this and I will now destroy you. At that time, Dr. B.K. Sharma of the PGI was with me, and there was a witness when he said that I will destroy you. And then I became DG ICMR after,
Yeah.
after, after one step. But then people will think that there was a bad blood between us. But I helped him. I helped his son, I helped his daughter-in-law. And the same way, the person who tried to stop me by joining DG ISMR, I didn't really stop him. I did it. All the people
Yeah.
whom with I was with competition within PGI, they had not become emeritus professors when I became DJ. I thought that injustice has been done to them, and they were in competition. We were not very friendly, really, if you
Right.
really ask
Right.
me. But I
Right.
made every one of them. I made emeritus professor.
Right.
So life, if you have been in certain kind of way, and the same way I had to remove some people from one place and maybe transfer the person another place. Like there was a person in one of the ICMR institute. That person, the minister of health at that time, hated that guy. So he said that transfer this person immediately. So what I could do, I thought that how this person should benefit out of my action. So he was from Odisha, and we had a very good institute in Odisha. So I said, okay, sir, just leave it on me, and where I transfer, but I will transfer him today. So I talked to him. He was so happy that I was transferred. So it
Yeah.
was a punishment, but he
It was
went.
a win-win situation actually
So,
for both of,
so,
yeah.
so, so one more thing, one more example, that is a true example. There was a student of mine whom we had hired in ICMR, and he was later on he became a director of institute. But he was little unhappy with me because what he wanted was impossible to fulfill. So, so he used to make a lot of complaints about me all around. So what happened that in the tsunami, his institute was washed away, and he made some comment in the newspaper. So I was the science congress president. So I was, and the prime minister was coming there. But I was asked by the cabinet secretary to report back immediately. I said, I am a president. How could I come? Says, we don't know, but you come back immediately. So I told Dr. Bhan to babysit for me the Congress, and I moved to cabinet secretary, and he ordered me that transfer this person to remote place as an OSD, and
Right.
then we will initiate an inquiry, and we'll do that. So it was a very tough decision in my life what to do. So what I said that, sir, let me think over it, and let me inquire about it. I came back, and I wrote on the file that I talked to the person. At that time, there was no recording, there was no cell phone recordings and others. So I said, sir, this person has said that he has not made that statement. It was twisted by the media, and it
Yeah.
was published, and he has denied, and I believe him. So I wrote and I signed and I gave it back. So he was not touched.
Yeah.
So whether at one time he liked me or didn't like me, if you are a fair and if you are taking a decision, that is that
Yeah.
decision sometimes saves life.
Sir, I'm just interrupting you because these two examples are really a worthful example of taking stand for the good people. I think as a leader, you need to take stand for good people, and at the same point in time, create a win-win situations at both ends. Sir, we have next 5 minutes with us, and in the next 5 minutes, I'll be asking you 10 rapid fire questions. So it will be very interesting to know about your belief in leadership. So, sir, number one is one word that describe your leadership style.
You should be collaborative. You should,
Collaborative.
if you are a collaborative, things
Yeah.
You create teams, you create communities, it helps.
Wonderful, sir. A leader which you admire the most.
The leader who I admire the most is Dr. Ramlinga Swami, and the teacher, my own teacher. Dr. Ramlinga Swami was a person who was one of my mentors, and Dr. Walia is another one. But
Yeah,
Dr. Ramlinga Swami, I asked him once that, sir, we also have a good pathology department, but why people are known in yours and why we are the second? So he said that, look, first thing that in my department everyone has a freedom and everyone has created face for themselves. Second, the routine we do, but I believe in research and I do we did research, that's why we are known around the world. And
right.
thirdly, he knew everyone. He knew my wife's name. He even knew how I weighed, whether I become thinner, or he knew everyone. He could
Everything.
personally
Yeah,
connect, and was a visionary. And he also had people who didn't like him, like
right,
like Dr. Gopalan and him. They were never friends up to
right.
the end of their life, but essentially he is one of my main role model.
Correct, sir. Correct.
And
So,
my teacher, Dr. Agarwal in PGI, was another role model.
right, sir. So, any strength, one big strength and one weakness, sir,
The
in you. Yeah,
the biggest strength in me is my resilience. I could adapt to situation. So, but and the biggest weakness in me is not able to say no most of the times.
right, right.
And here there is a story. We had Dr. Wahi. He said that, Dr. Ganguly, it was very good that you were not born as a girl. I said, why, sir? So he said that you would have been constantly pregnant because you are not able to say no. So this is a weakness. I don't know if it's a weakness or this is good, but this
Yeah, yeah.
weakness I carry till date.
I know, sir. I know. So, any book, sir, which you think that changed your life, which you have read?
That is one of the things, because which goes with the leadership, that is known as the Thoughts of Power, which has been written by Swami Vivekananda. So that is one book which has really
Right.
shaped my life.
Yeah.
And there is another one book which is written by this is a biography of Dr. Iravati Karve. She was the first anthropologist in the social science and public health,
Right,
importance
sir.
of anthropologist.
Right.
How the Iravati Karve was the first anthropologist in India, and she went to do PhD in Germany with a person who thought that white races are superior than blacks. And people said, you will never get your PhD. But she got her PhD from that person, and
Right, sir.
she shaped so much Indian philosophy. So Iravati
Right.
Karve's biography is another book.
Biggest leadership myth, sir.
The biggest leadership myth.
Myth. Yeah.
The biggest leadership myth is that anybody who thinks they have all the answers,
Yeah.
that is a myth. Many people who
Correct.
become leaders,
Correct.
they
Correct.
they think that they have all the answers in the world,
To the
but
problem.
that
Yeah.
is the biggest.
Sir, what motivates you to continue leader even in the tough days?
Actually, in the tough days, since we are physicians, if you could really make a good public health decision and if you could change life, one of the work which you might be maybe familiar with, we were working on the rheumatic heart disease in Raipur Rani as well as Ambala district. Previously with Sharad Iyengar, later on with Rajesh Kumar.
Hmm.
And there, if the girl got pregnant who has a rheumatic heart disease, the person died normally because
Hmm. Hmm.
they couldn't afford an expensive valve replacement and others. But when we could save these girls and when they went happy, so that made you really happy. So as a
Correct.
doctor and a public health intervention,
When you're
and
working with community and
and,
communities have.
and one more small story, if you have time. Like I went to Kasargod. So there they were making spray with the endosulfan. And there were in one small place, there were 200 blood cancers there. Well, so we fought with the bureaucracy, we fought with the very powerful politicians who were owning the endosulfan factory, and we changed that particular
Right, right,
paradigm. And that particular thing made me very happy that at
right,
least we have helped a population.
right, sir. So, next three or four questions on like work-life balance, sir. How you maintain that?
The life balance in one word is that you concentrate on essentials. If you can concentrate on essential, and if you could know that what is important and what you need to do, then you can balance it in a way that you
Right,
are able to do that.
right, sir. A skill every leader must have.
Communication. If you are not able to communicate,
Right.
then you go nowhere.
I know, sir. Most difficult part of being a leader.
Most difficult part of being a leader is this, that if you fail the people who depend on you,
Lot of
and
expectations.
yeah, people may have expectations, but sometimes the expectations are not met. But if you have failed them, then like I gave you again a small story in PGI. There was Dr. Praveen Singhal, now a great nephrologist. At that time, he was working with Dr. Divi Datta, hepatologist. He was doing a splenic puncture, and a person died. And then it was the organized. It was a politician's patient. Organization was asked that you fire this guy. Today, Praveen Singhal is a very famous person in the world.
Right,
So
right, right,
Dr. Divi Datta said that first fire me, because he has not done anything wrong. He has worked in my direction, and first fire me, and then you can touch the person. And
right.
so he didn't fail the person, you know.
Hmm, hmm.
So sometimes but people who are working with you may not like your decision, but if you fail them at a critical juncture, then you have failed them. And
Right.
that is one of the biggest disappointment, and that is the biggest shame you can carry all your life.
Sir, one value you would like to teach young leaders.
Humility.
Humility. Yeah, very good, sir. And one word your team used to describe you.
The one word which our
Your
team
team, your team usually
describe me,
have that
I,
word
I
for you.
I don't know whether they will describe me like that. I will say that supportive. I'm normally supportive
Okay, great, sir,
of the
great.
team.
And success in your word, sir.
Success in my word is making decisions which are positive, not negative, and which make a lasting difference. If you
Sustainability.
could do, yeah, if you could do that, then it's a success.
Great, great. So that was Professor Nirmal Kumar Ganguly with us. Shared lot of visionary thoughts about his 5 decades of leadership experiences, working in different scenarios through various examples. And he has amply told that leaders should have a vision where they want to see their organization. They should have integrity. They should have a giving attitude, adaptability, and they should work for the people, and they should be taking stand wherever they need to take it for their own people, but at the same point of time taking tough decisions for people which might benefit them in the longer run. He also said that solving conflicts is one of the difficult challenge for a leader, but at the same point of time, when you create a win-win situation for everyone, so I think that is more important. Collaboration and communication was amply emphasized by Professor Ganguly, which is very important. And one of the most important thing for a young leader, he has told about the humility, the humbleness, which is really required if he or she takes the leadership position. So thank you very much, sir, for being with us in this leadership for voices. And we hope that the young leader will make use of all these things which you have told in this particular presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Goel. It has been great sitting with you. I myself didn't know what I will say for these things, but it spontaneously came out. Thank you.
So these are leadership experiences which you have said by heart, and I think these leadership experiences make young leaders even more intelligent in taking those decisions. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us.
Sir.